Vote for Team Lauren.
Someone's speaking shit up there.
You retired too?
Not me. I'm in my prime.
Hey team, how you going? And welcome to the very first episode of No Safe Spaces, where you're going to get the benefit of three mature but still under 50 years old people who will give you a combined age of 150 years of wisdom, so to speak. These episodes are going to be about table talk that you want to talk about, things that itch, that can't necessarily communicate about. And we're going to hit those topics that are important to us as well, to give you source material, to be able to take those and arm you, keep you dangerous as you go into conversations that maybe you're trying to keep your feet out of the water from. So let's do that. 3 topics each episode where you learn a little bit from people from all over the world, the diversity of thought. And what we're going to start with is our lovely panel. Everyone, Lauren, Ed, Katz. Today, going to hit it off for the very first session is going to be Lauren, understanding that this is made to promote comments from you in the comment section. And here we go. And don't worry about the way Ed looks at Lauren. Lauren, over to you.
Okay, well, I stumbled across an article and it was on the Daily Mail and Breitbart. And it actually got me thinking what a sad state the world is in, or our Western world at this point, how we've got it so good that we're almost going to implode. The University of Michigan has set up a special task force to come up with a list of banned words. Now, I'll show you what that is. I'll show you the article. Here it is. University of Michigan is blasted as pariacal and moronic after woke IT task force bans words like picnic, brown bag, and blacklist for being offensive and harming morale. And some of the words on here really made me confused. Like the man thing, I'm not so confused about. That's something like they've been doing for a while now. But you can no longer say man hours. It has to become person hours.
That's man.
Yeah, you can't say ma'am. You can't say black and white thinking. You have to say binary thinking. You can't say brown bag. You can't say crack the whip, no crazy or insane, because that may offend those with mental health issues. You can't say crippled, disabled. You can't say dummy. You cannot even say gender neutral or he or she. You have to refer to people by their names. You can't say gypped because it might be offensive to gypsies. You can't say girl, gal, boy, or guy. You have to use the person's name. Yeah.
It says picnic.
Yeah, I know.
It's a gathering.
Yeah, you've got to say gathering. I mean, has picnic got something to do with like pickaninny or something? That's the only thing I could think of. I don't know where it's come from or why that's offensive.
In America here, though, there's a picnic's actually a slang term. It stands for eating while sitting down.
That's exactly what it means here, outside.
Oh,
sitting
okay.
on a blanket.
Thought I missed something.
Yeah. Maybe it's different over there.
Off the reservation, I use that all the time.
Can't use it. You have to say outside the norms, rogue, break with the group, or off on your own. You can't say native, so you can't say that's their native language. You have to say that's their built-in language.
Okay, so how does this affect you, us, and those that are watching?
Wow.
It literally just annoys me. That's how it affects me, and it makes me think these folk need some real problems. How does it affect the world? Because while everyone's distracted with all these tiny microaggressions, there are genuine things that people should be upset about.
I have a quick question on there. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
The term disabled is to be replaced with broken when you're talking about a system or equipment. So you would say, instead of disable your microphone, I would say, can you broke your microphone, please?
See, that's going to make me want to Hulk smash it.
They're not elected. they're not elected officials. Where does this authority come from? They haven't been voted on. They don't have police powers.
Imagine they're just guidelines.
Into the free.
Yeah. Not really. There's no free speech there.
That's USA. He's in the Oval Office right now, Ed B.
Yep.
Originally, I'm from Ohio originally, and Ohio and Michigan have a huge rivalry, and they have for years when it comes to their sporting team. So, of course, anything Michigan is my rival. I have nothing to do with Michigan, other than we play a common card game called euchre. That's about it. People from Ohio and Michigan play this card game. That's it. Other than euchre, I have nothing to do with Michigan, honestly. And I think that further is the evidence as to why.
Shouldn't they be more worried about having a clean election?
Yeah.
You know, it's you can't be talking about ethics at the moment coming from Michigan.
That's where Detroit is. I think they have their own problems in Detroit.
Look, when you tell people what they can and can't say, it's going to create a back reaction that might be as stronger than what the actual initial reason for this is. This helps no one. There's no one it helps. This is yet a list of kiboshing and control.
No one asked for this.
The creating of a list, not just by telling us what to say, what not to say, the amplification of political correctness creates a bigger divide by doing so, by creating an us and them environment.
It makes them look crazy. Like they're off the reservation. I just want to put a brown paper bag on my head.
You can't say that.
And just have a picnic.
It's like the whole system's disabled.
It is. So, Lauren,
it's crazy.
We know a little bit about.
I got really.
That's all right.
I'm lagging.
It's disabled.
You can't say lagging. You have to say behind.
And,
sorry.
And you know a lot of left people too, don't you?
I can't turn left.
Derek, that's nothing to be ashamed of.
I do. I grew up in a house where most people, I think everyone was left-leaning, and most of my family, and I went to a very alternative school where everybody's left-leaning. So I think I'm surrounded by people who are left-leaning. But to be honest with you, I think a lot of them would be annoyed by this too.
I'd imagine so.
Because it just stinks of book burning and censorship.
Do you think that they would be offended, or do you think that they would, depending on the company that's watching them at that time, whether they act offended or if they act supportive?
It's a good point. That's a good point. A lot of it is just virtue signaling.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, I've always said for a long time that nothing offends people. People just want to affect change. They just want to affect change so that in their inner circle they could say, "Hey, did you see that? I caused that."
Yeah.
I was the first one to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that
I think you might be right.
I think it's just a badge for somebody to add to their hidden closet of badges.
That's a great topic. It's a hot topic, and it'd be very interesting to see from a uni student's perspective, is this something they're encountering in Australia? Can they see the tentacles already starting here? Because we did hear a lady today who looked like she was about 19 years old when I took Achilles for a walk. And we overheard her speaking to her friend that she's about to start university this year, and they're not sure if they're turning up or whether it's going to be Zoom sessions like so. And she was concerned with her political views might not be that shared by the university, and she's not sure if she's going to get scored correctly. And I went,
that was actually a topic on on a few of our news channels a while back, but of course it gets kiboshed quickly when you have actually affluent parents that lean to the right, who are affluent. Those kind of people that get a wing named after them at a school, or those people that donate monies to schools and things like this, who say, I'm sending my kid to you for an education, not for you to reprogram the child that I've raised since infancy to a left-leaning person when I've raised him with this set of family values. It's important to us. Yeah. Well, the stories get ended very quickly though here.
I'm sure there's going to be some awesome comments down below in chat that are going to actually, you know, probably disgust us, if anything. Yeah, that's really interesting.
It would be interesting. Get a few registered questions for that, maybe for next time.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Are you happy with that one, Lauren? Or?
Yeah.
Let's go to topic 2, mate. And what are you thinking? You know, what's chapping your butt at the moment that makes you want to talk like John Wayne and get a solution from the panel?
Well, I don't know if I got anything currently chapping my ass, as I try to keep it powdered, if you know what I mean. No, but not chapping me currently, but something that was just brought up. A friend of mine is on a radio show, and he brought up a term, Shadowband. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the term. Now, honestly, I've heard it, but I've not necessarily investigated it because it just didn't interest me at the time. So we were talked about it briefly amongst us earlier there when we had a little bit of a conversation about it, about being banned and not knowing that you're being banned. So when you go from a bunch of views all the time, you're looking at your analytics of your YouTube channel, of your Twitter handle or whatever, and you notice, man, I'm always getting X amount of views. And then just out of nowhere, you just plummet and you're not getting views, you're not getting likes, you're not getting found, you're not getting shared or searched. How come? So that's obviously with this thing called shadow banning. I didn't know how it occurred. But then I was speaking to a friend of mine tonight about it, and he said he heard that it comes from where maybe Dean has 15 or 20 videos, and someone goes on and they like all your videos so quickly in succession that an algorithm knows there's no possible way that you could have watched all those videos that quickly, so therefore it puts like a kibosh on your channel until other eyes can get in there to look at it to find out why you got all those looks. Did you create a computer to go like yourself, to push yourself up in the rankings? Did you somehow contact your 10,000 followers and ask them all at a certain time to go flood your channel to push yourself up in the rankings? And so maybe they've created that algorithm to put a stop to that, to maybe keep the playing field even on people who are smart on techie and they know how to game the system. And when he brought up that point to me, that instantly took the wind out of my sails on being angry about shadow banning, because it's like, well, maybe that's a viable reason that could occur, because the other friend had mentioned that he was able to get his views back, but it took a minute. So maybe it was a review period that was put in there. So it actually kind of opened my eyes. So it's not, again, shadow banning, not something that initially chapped my butt, but something that, oh, you know what? I heard it. I jumped to a conclusion of what it was, that the man's just trying to put us down because we lean this way. But a person on my side of the leaning said, I think it's this, could be that. You know what? That's a viable point. So I just wanted to bring that up. Thoughts, Dean, what do you think?
Well, I believe for sure that I've been shadow banned. With the last channel we had, over 550 videos, and YouTube also wouldn't help me to get that back, despite the fact that they allowed the Asian hacker to then stream on my account the day after it had been hacked and stolen.
Yeah.
But then I opened a new channel, same name, and two of the first few videos that I put up got 70-something thousand views and 65,000 views. But then when I started to talk about the same subject again, it came in down to 400 views, 500 views and stuff like that. So I think the big difference comes down to the inequality of it, understanding it is a private organisation, but it's not a job for me. And it's not a job for Lauren, who's another YouTuber. Lauren is shining, and Ed B, a YouTuber as well. We all are. It's not our jobs, so it's not going to chap our ass as much as it could others. But if you were someone that has a job and you want to make a job of that, and you get quarantined, kiboshed, shadow banned, unable to make any money in that industry, while at the same time, if I lean left, if I am part of the sectionality group, that you might get 1 million views and propped up, whether it's good content or not, and be turned into a power player within the industry, and then helped along the way through algorithm assistance, through buddy programs, and other networking groups, because that's why it doesn't always make sense. Like, at the end of the day, you still have to have a polished product. I understand that. Ours is not so much, but it's also not our jobs. So shadow banning, I just don't like the fact that you're not allowed to hear the view. I understand if they say don't monetize, got it. AdSense people don't want to put an ad on yours, pay their money for you to put it on your topic. I understand that, but it shouldn't be hidden as an authoritative source on a subject unless it is proven to be either dishonest or that is something that is exploiting those that watch it.
Mhm.
And even then, it comes down to moral issues. Have you broken the law? If not, there you go. Sorry.
What question, during our elections, was your Aussie side of YouTube, you know, when I would first open up YouTube, I would just get ads right up front. During the elections, I was getting ads bombarded to me opposite my political view.
Yep.
And when I talk to other people, it's like, just because my IP address, there's just algorithms, there's things over here that you can look up and it tells you all about who you are. You're probably a Republican, you're probably a Democrat, you probably, you know, this, that, and the other. And I was just getting bombarded by, you know, political ads opposite my view. During our elections, do you guys receive that on the Australian side? Do you see any of the ads of our politics going on, like during our election time or coming up to the elections? Do you guys see any of those ads, or are your ads all strictly Australian ads?
No. We didn't see ads per se at all over here, but every one of our media sources, except for Sky News, would do a negative, dribble-fed, negative comments about the Commander-in-Chief Donald Trump, and it happened on every single channel. So that you couldn't hide from it. So over 365 days.
That's the same way here. Same way here on that. Yeah.
I'd actually never thought about the shadow banning like how you said then. That was a good point.
It was. I never even thought of that when he said that a few people, this other friend of mine said that a few people have even made a video like, stop watching all my videos so quickly, you know, because it's causing me to become shadow banned until I can get it figured out. Yeah.
Big channels have been shut down for temporary amounts of time when they've said, give us a thumbs up for this, or put the hashtag sign in for this. And all of a sudden, 10,000 people have done it. And the algorithm goes, something's happening here. What's going on? And it comes in and puts out the dumpster fire, so to speak.
It's kind of like I have an app on my phone. It's a police scanner. It's an app. You can download it. And that those police or fire departments put their stuff up to be listened to. So it's not the tactical stuff they need to keep away from people's ears, you know, fire, emergency kind of thing. And you can put an alert on there that says, hey, if 2,000 people start listening to Nashville, Tennessee, make my phone buzz. And sure enough, Christmas Day, my phone's going off. When I look at it, what's going on? 2,000 plus people are listening to Nashville Fire and EMS. I flip to it, and boom, I hear the Nashville, you know, for those who don't know, a recreational vehicle, a camper, caravan, whatever the Aussie term is there, laden with explosives, blew up on 2nd Avenue in Nashville. So I wonder if, like you said, the algorithm, when, you know, your 106 viewers you had on live stream, all of a sudden they all throw up a bunch of thumbs up. I wonder if it's kind of like a whole crowd going, yeah, kick his butt, man. And that gets the attention. That is a good point.
Well, I think it basically can come down to just a yes or no, simple binary answer. Is it being deliberately used to prevent people from having both sides of a story? And if that's the case, then to me it's criminal. You know, it's manipulation of thought across a civilization, a population, community, or country. And
what keeps it a conspiracy theory is you can't prove it.
Or they completely smother it in exactly the same and allow those channels to fight amongst each other. And then that creates the, oh, you're one of those guys. Yeah.
It's called They Do It, Jeffrey Epstein.
Beyond Blue.
Anybody heard from his girlfriend since she's been released from prison?
Nope.
She's in hiding.
Yeah, I heard that she wanted to try and get out for Christmas. I've got really bad lag.
She's already out. You do have bad lag. She's been released a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's already out. Yeah, she's already out. I don't know. If I was her and the guard come to let me out, I'd have punched him in the mouth so I'd get another 30 days in the hole or something.
Yeah.
And just keep doing that.
I'll ban shadows. Do you know how I do that? I turn the light on.
You know how I do it? I hide them behind my green screen.
People don't realize what green screens are. and how easily the average person can be manipulated.
It's that.
Yeah. You should have heard Dean making fun of you for that before when you weren't on.
And that's exactly why you should go, if you're going to be on a team, be on Team Ed B.
That's fake news. There's only one person trying to manipulate you. You know, Team Lauren. You guys already started. Okay, look in comments and let us know. Are you Team Lauren, Team Ed, or Team Kez? Just because you're a lady doesn't mean you need to vote for Team Lauren, okay?
No, just because you're a guy doesn't mean you need to vote for Team
Adam and Eve.
I think it's required. If you vote for Team Lauren, you have to start sitting down to pee.
Just because you've got a beard doesn't make you wise.
Well, if you know what's good for you, you'll vote for Ed B. Eats 5 Brussels sprouts on camera. I'll vote for Team Dean.
Look, like I said before, I've already got enough problems putting this condom on.
I see it's too big.
The base. Adult conversation team. We're having it right now. Righto. Well, let's see what the comments are on Shadowbands. How does it affect us? You know, have you been affected? You know, and what experiences have you had, negative or positive, or reasons for or against? I think it's a pretty interesting one.
I also got one. I would like to hear from the team of Lauren's list of words. Are there certain words that people just, the most outrageous words that they've heard shouldn't be used? You know, what's the most outrageous, like picnic? I've heard you shouldn't use picnic, but come up with a source. You know, don't just make up with, hey, I heard from the University of Michigan, they don't want people to use the word picnic next year within their school halls, or brown bag because it offends whatever. What is the most outrageous or ludicrous word that people are offended by?
Hang on, it's my lag.
Your camera doesn't make you look the opposite. No, it doesn't make you look the opposite way. I'm such a girl. Look the other way, Lauren.
Well, is that way?
No, the other way. How come compact cars have got reverse cameras and men's trucks don't? I wonder.
Oh, I know why.
Okay. You know they've had to put reverse cameras in tanks now that lady drive them?
No, I've forgotten the question.
Well, the question was, why do we park on a driveway and drive on a parkway?
That's a good question. I've got a question. Why is palindrome not spelt the same backwards as it is forward?
I'm off the reservation with this.
If you could drive your race car better, you would know that.
Okay,
I'm excited. Just do a long pause for cutting. Ready? Go.
No, it's too late.
Okay, I'm excited to see what everyone says in the comments and if they treat it not like a safe space.
Well, it's not a safe space, and the whole point about it, as we discussed, you know, and let them know, Lauren, what the opposite of a safe space is in a thesaurus, which I thought was a dinosaur.
No, wasn't the thesaurus. That was actually the general consensus on Reddit, is that the opposite to safe space is danger zone.
Danger zone. Top Gun trilogy.
Makes sense. Yeah, so in our comments, you can say picnic all you like. We won't get offended.
With a brown paper bag on your head, which wouldn't be crazy at an unsafe space. Like the danger zone.
Exactly. And you can say long time no see if you like.
You can say anything you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I might crack on with the last topic. And this one sort of has to be covered. I know you hate this. Real Ivory, the elephant in the room. And that is, when you watch this, it's going to be the eve of 2021. We're about to go into another year that 73% of people in the US said they believe that 2021 is going to be worse. How? I don't know. Is it because we feel like we are absolutely operating in a way against our gut feelings on most things that normally give us our survival techniques? I think 2021 can be good. I think it can be great. And a lot of it's going to depend on what happens in the 6th of January, to tell you the truth. The outcome of the US election, which in actual fact affects trends across the world and the way we think.
Are you also paying attention to the issues domestically here in the U.S.?
Yes, I am, because I have to, because they're connected to what happens in the world. If we lose our freedom here, it's bad for the whole world. You know, there's an African proverb that says, when the U.S. sneezes, the whole world catches a cold.
With the civil war that's happening across the world between conservatism and leftism, so to speak, and all of the people that have never been to a socialist country that want to be in one, but don't want to move there. I think it's going to be a good year. I hope that the COVID vaccines get out. I hope it brings the fear level down, paranoia level down, the anger down, and allows people to go about their general everyday lives. My big fear at the moment, Lauren and Ed, is that we've created a palsy that is now going to be very hard to get back off the lounge from. I think the whole world has powered down, and I think that's going to be an excuse for a lot of people within the mental health industry to actually be able to have now a crutch, a way of potentially never getting back onto the bike, so to speak, after the fall.
Exactly. Yeah.
And our schooling, you know, to undeveloped minds, what is going to happen to those that in the middle of the most valuable years of going from youth to adult, okay, from schooling to work life, you know, that might have created a glitch that they can't come back from. Open borders, that's what I want to see. I want to get it back overseas. I feel like the need to just start running in a direction, to go and see something new, to the fresh air, to live life again, to not be cooped up and not feel guilty that I'm doing something to harm the elderly amongst us. You know, I don't want to feel selfish for living life, I guess what I'm saying. What are your thoughts on that, Ed?
Well, on the first thing you said about the vaccines, a couple key words that come to my mind is I think as the vaccines has come out, it's already started from my point of view of what I call true colors. I'm looking at the minute twinklings of what I think are people's true colors when they start publishing stories of the rumor that they're hearing at the beginning of who should get it first. Should it go to our soldiers overseas? Should it go to our frontline workers, nurses and doctors? Should it go to our elderly that are in the nursing homes?
Yep.
And so, and then as each news agency over here jumps on that topic, I'm starting to see little inklings of people's true colors over the me first syndrome. I got to get mine. I think it really exposes folks to, you know, when they start offering their opinion on who they think should get it first, I think it really exposes their true being inside. Are they the, no sir, please take mine. Please take mine. You need it. Or are they, get out of my way, tickle me Elmo at Christmas? I don't know if you guys have this. It's like where a superstore opens their doors on the day after Thanksgiving. And people
not as bad.
Okay. It's like death over here to get between somebody and their TV at Walmart.
You don't have like Black Friday like you guys do.
Racist.
Yeah. So we can't say that anymore. We have to say something different. And then the other thing was he hit on about being too used to not doing something. I think I think we've really opened up a can of worms here on our side of the pond about forgiveness. They've really overused this word about forgiveness, debt forgiveness, a school loan forgiveness, no evictions. You can't evict somebody. It's now illegal for you to evict somebody. Well, do you have proof that they've been affected by COVID? Because honestly, I'm as blessed as I can be because I'm retired. I don't have a job. I live on my retirement pay, so it's not affected me. So I'm very blessed because of that. So does that mean if I were renting, could I be like, oh yeah, man, I lost my job, and you can't evict me because of that? You know, I think that there's a lot of that going on because that's the trend that people do. They take advantage of that situation, and I think that they just open up a big can of worms by just letting too much go by and not going, look, you know, sometimes you just have to understand, well, you know what, when we hit a pandemic and you can't just sit at home and go, well, sorry, I got debt forgiveness and you can't evict me. You got a family to feed, so you better, you know what, go find a job, all the fast food restaurants are still working. All these places are still working. And everywhere I go here in Clarksville, Tennessee, there are signs up in windows, help wanted, help wanted, help wanted. So I kind of get tired about hearing, I can't pay my rent.
Yeah.
Now, childcare is another thing. So that adds a big thing in there. That's a big deal. Or who watches your kids in if they're locked up at home. So I get that. So it's definitely a sensitive subject. And with only 3 minutes remaining here in this meeting, I don't want to hog that all up. So I'll pass that on to Lauren. Lauren, there, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering, the landlord would still have an obligation to fix the home and keep it to a certain standard. But obviously they've been affected by COVID just by having tenants that they can't kick out.
Yeah. How do I replace your falling soffit off the side of the house if you haven't paid your rent since March?
Exactly. How do I pay the mortgage for this second house? Yeah, exactly.
Good point. Good point.
And for all those affected, I think it sucks, because we're also not protecting the people that have lost 50 years of legacy. That's going to affect generations of family wealth too. Look, with that one, let us know in comments how it's affected you. Are you optimistic for 2021? I am. I think it's what you make. If you feed the white wolf, you get positivity without being Pollyanna. If you feed the black one, you're always going to wonder why it's always
2 minutes.
Always you. 2 minutes out. That would
sorry,
be
team.
that.
Team. I was designated as the 2 minute reminder. Dean, let's hear that closing intro for today, or closer for today.
Well, the closing intro for today would be fantastic. It was great to talk to great people about subjects that everyone should be talking about, but also doing so safely. Lauren, look, that's Lauren's new art. Hashtag Team Lauren. Okay. That's the tattoo that she wants to give anyone. Join Team Kaz. You know what to do. Right. See you later. It's going to be happy 2021. I will take the vaccine last. This is when people should be stepping up and remembering, stay on the Titanic, allow the right people to get on the boat.
You're going to die an old lady.
And that's why I voted for Team. That's why I voted for Team Kaz.
So I say vote for Team Lauren.
Someone's speaking shit up there. Take it easy. Lauren, Ed, pleasure. We've got room for a fourth person down here or over here. Don't let people tell you what you can and can't say. And if they do it too often, just cut them away. Make your life a better version of you and start by picking the weeds out of your garden before they become bushes. Yes, mate.
She's waving goodbye. That's a wrap.
Saying goodbye.
Send us a new link, Dean.
I'll send it to you. All right, take it easy.
Team Lauren.
Bye.
You're
Team Lauren.
Yeah, not Team Simp up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, vote for Kaz.
Simp or
Team
Imp?
Lauren.
Kaz. I don't have that. Team Ed. It just doesn't come out the same. Well, if you know what's good for you,
I've already voted
vote for that Lauren.
OMW, on my way to you. Good at what I do. I'm OMW. OMW, on my way to you.
You retired too?
Not me. I'm in my prime.